Teas are not typically viewed as a luxury item since the great majority are readily available and priced reasonably. But there are some more exotic teas with a genuinely high price point. Some of them are very rare types of tea, while some have gold-coated leaves, while others are simply packaged in a very unique way. The following list includes teas that stray from the ordinary teas common worldwide. If you have money to spare and are that enthusiastic about tea, you could try to get your hands on these pricey rarities. Now, let's talk about the world's 11 most expensive teas. Da Hong Pao Tea. Da Hong Pao Tea holds the world record for collecting the highest price paid for a small amount of tea. That's because in 2002, a buyer purchased a mere 20 grams of it for $28,000, a rough equivalent of $1.4 million for a kilogram. Why is it so pricey? To start, Da Hong Pao tea is very rare. It is a traditional Chinese beverage served mostly to visiting dignitaries from other countries as a gift of the state. The leaves used in brewing Da Hong Pao are cut from ancient mother trees, some of which age over 3.5 centuries. Some cuttings are made into a tea that is not quite as exquisite, though still considered Da Hong Pao tea, allowing it to be sold for prices that are a bit more reasonable. The last time the trees were harvested was in 2005, with the harvesting process stemming back to the Ming dynasty and having been largely kept a secret all this time. Some of these trees won't ever be picked for harvest again in our lifetimes. Because Da Hong Pao commands such a high price, the supply of it around the world is often still with merchants, as too little of the existing harvest is sold. The tea is regarded as having healing properties and grows only in a specific region of southeastern China in the Wuji Mountains. Today, this tea is most commonly distributed by Harvey & Sons, with 1-pound bags sold for $350. PG Tips Anniversary Tea Bag. PG tea stood for Pre-Gest, a name a bit uninspired when first marketed as it translates to digestive tea. The brand, which launched in the 1930s, was shortened to its acronym for better marketing. When the 75th anniversary of the brand's existence came about, the brand, now named PG Tips, released an anniversary bag to commemorate the event, which was not only diamond-studded but included silver tips imperial tea. Humans surely love wrapping delicacies in precious metal, something proven already with examples such as Swarovski-studded chocolates. The commemorative bags sold for $15,000 apiece. The original idea behind this massive sum was to give the money to a children's charity in Britain, but we do have to wonder about whether this brand was ever even brewed. Yellow Gold Tea Buds. The yellow gold tea does not get its name because of the natural hue of its leaves, but rather because they are painted with 24-karat gold after harvesting. Those who have to pause at the idea of digesting metal paint can rest easy, as this gold coating has been deemed safe for consumption and is even regarded as being healthy. For $7,500 per kilogram of tea, this beverage is asking quite a bit in terms of price. But for tea aficionados, this tea, sold exclusively in Singapore, is highly prized. Only TWG tea offers this type of tea, making it the world's rarest tea. History points to Chinese emperors being served this tea with the leaves grown on plants only from a specific Chinese region. These leaves are harvested off the trees only once annually on a specific day and are cut from the branches with golden scissors. Those who consume yellow gold tea typically eat the leaves afterward. The tea can be ordered in a loose leaf form too, or in a 50-gram box for $529. While not $7,500, that is still quite a sum. Vintage Narcissus Tea. A 20-kilogram box of oolong exported from China to Singapore once collected one of the 5 highest bounties in 1960. After being sold and resold, a Malaysian Chinese collector finally purchased it. Grown in China's Wuji Mountains, the vintage Narcissus tea has flavors that overlap between woody, flowery, and chocolatey. The terroir of Wuji tea is comparable to fine wines. What makes these teas more difficult to harvest is that some of the plants cling to boulders and rocks on a craggy landscape, so they cannot be collected and used for tea, parameterizing harvests. When grown in lower elevations, these tea leaves are easier to collect and yield more tea, and as such, they do cost less. A typical cost for a kilogram of this tea, however, is still $6,500. Panda Dung Tea. If you're wondering how on the nose this tea's name is, it is pretty close. The Panda Dung Tea does come from tea leaves fertilized in panda droppings. How does someone market a tea like this? Well, since its initial 2012 production, sellers claimed that since pandas consume only bamboo and only process about 30% of its nutrients, the rest is infused in their waste, which transfers those health properties to the tea grown in them. In fact, while the name of the tea could have been a bit more turn-offish, the tea's proponents do point to the health-boosting properties of green tea and bamboo combined, including the fact that both contain cancer-combating ingredients. Since the tea was introduced, its prices for it have fluctuated. The harvesters of the Panda Dung tea have distributed it widely, however, through various online retailers and specialty tea shops. Actually, there is a good chance that your local Target carries it. So why are the prices so high? $3,500 for 50 grams or $70,000 for a kilogram? Well, the panda population is on a steep decline, making the harvesting of this tea a lot harder every year. Thai Guanyin Tea. The Thai Guanyin tea, another Chinese oolong variant, is quite a unique substance. Aside from being potent enough to keep its flavor through as many as 7 infusions, its leaves actually make a type of ringing sound when poured into cloth bags. The tea's namesake is attributed to the Buddhist iron goddess of mercy and is a blend of green and black teas that presents a distinctly chestnut-like flavor. The trees that grow the Thai Guanyin tea leaves reside in Fujian province of China, high in the mountainous regions of the area. Once they are harvested, they are oxidized and dried much in the same way other teas are, then rolled, scented, and roasted to result in the final tea product. The price of $3,000 per kilogram is certainly steep, but tea lovers argue that the flavor and the strength to reinfuse multiple times make the tea bags that hold the leaves quite worthwhile. So let's do the math for a moment. If the kilo is $3,000, then every gram is $3, and 1 cup requires about 3 grams, $9 per cup. But if that can be infused up to 7 times, that turns this expensive price into quite a bargain in the end. Silvertips Imperial. The next tea on the list is harvested in West Bengal, India, at the world's first tea plantation, the Makai Tea Estate. The Silvertips Imperial Tea is a type of Darjeeling, the tea plantation's well-known brand, which is currently marketing by Luxmi Tea. It is a semi-fermented oolong tea that is known for its anti-aging and relaxing agents. The tea is made in limited quantities every year. One aspect is the finite number of trees that produce the tea leaves. Another is the fact that they are harvested only during full moon nights and days of the harvesting season. The company has other tea varieties, but the multi-award-winning Silvertips are dubbed the jewel of the crown. It is enjoyed during the evenings by avid tea drinkers who clearly have some money to invest in the product. The tea can be ordered from the producers for £30 for just 50 grams, but the record sale was made in 2014 when the tea estate shipped the tea to the United States, the UK, and Japan for $1,850 per kilogram. Pu-erh tea. The Chinese province of Yunnan produced this curious type of tea. While it isn't the only one to have a type of unusual waste-based ingredient, it is one of the few that incorporate insect feces. To add to the on-the-nose name and the odd nature of this tea's cultivation, a kilogram of the Pu-erh tea leaves sells for $1,000. The tea is also said to have healing qualities. While the idea of consuming insect excrements doesn't excite many, those who have taken the chance on the curious concoction describe the experience as rather pleasant, and the tea being thick, smooth, and strong. Guarana broken leaf black tea. The Portuguese Chá Guararena from the island of São Miguel brings the world the Guarana broken leaf copper-colored tea, uniquely using only every third leaf from each branch to produce the tea. This also happens to be Europe's only surviving tea plantation, founded and operating since 1883, and it occupies a portion of the coast where the tea leaves are grown on plants enriched by the island's volcanic soil. The processing of the tea leaves is largely traditional, and the plantation is even open to visitors for unguided tours. It permits guests to walk the fields as well as to sample and purchase the final product. This is an enriching experience, not just because guests can watch tea processed manually by the plantation's workers, but also in that it enables interested guests to learn the history of tea development in Europe and that of tea in general. Tea-inch flower tea. This tea, rife with detoxifying attributes, is capable of quelling certain allergies and reducing insomnia. Aside from its healthy qualities, the Chinese tea-inch flower tea is known for its unique appearance and its rich flavor. The clumps of tea more closely resemble broccoli flowerets. Its flavor carries something that is distinguished as a cooling quality with a sweeter aftertaste. The tea's benefits don't stop at insomnia and allergies either. Traditional Chinese medicine has used its ingredients in combating everything from mouth sores to boils, mitigating dizziness and anxiety, as well as rehydrating the body by bolstering fluid levels. Gyokuro. This tea comes from Japan's Uji district and is a type of sencha green tea that comes from plants that are typically shaded for 3 to 7 weeks before being harvested for their tea leaves. The shade helps to boost the leaves' amino acid content, which generates a distinctive scent as well as a sweet taste. Sometimes known as jade dew tea, the Gyokuro is one of Japan's most expensive green teas at $65 per kilogram. It is admired by fans for its complex flavor array. It is highly caffeinated and rich in L-theanine, amino acid, vitamins, and minerals.
Bringing you more value per minute than any other entrepreneurial channel out there, or at least trying to. We would appreciate if you at least subscribe, like, and share this video. That would mean the world to us.